The penultimate day of the championship brought with it the promise of a new Wimbledon winner. Jaguar faced off against Elena Rybakina on another sweltering day out there on centre court. Before we bring you all the action though, Charlie Eccleshare gave us a lowdown on the first time finalists here at the championship.
Bit of everything. Jaguar is from Tunisia and she is richly talented and lots has always been expected of her, but she's never really made the breakthrough at a Grand Slam. But this year is when she has made that step up. Her first Grand Slam final, loads of buzz and excitement about her. Is this going to be her moment? Doing her thing. Well, Rybakina is one of the biggest hitters on the tour, bangs down aces, really big serve. She is playing as if she doesn't care who she's up against. She's just thinking about herself. She's stepping onto the court and saying, if I bring my A game, sorry, there's not a lot you can do. Yeah, well, she came through the first few rounds pretty comfortably. She had a challenge in the quarter-final, went a set down to Marie Buskova, and people were thinking, maybe is she going to buckle here? But she didn't, she came back. And then in the semi-final, she lost the second set against Tatiana Maria. Again, is she going to wobble? And again, she didn't. She came back, won the third set, and she's in the final.
Jaguar, 6-2. The first African woman in the Open era to reach the Wimbledon final.
She's actually only lost one set, and that was against Ajla Tomljanovic in the quarter-final, went a set down. And again, first proper test, and she came through it really well. And then in the semi-final against Simona Halep, who a lot of people were backing to win this title, Rybakina came through that 6-3, 6-3, and that was a real statement win to say to Jaguar, I'm ready for you in this final. For Jaguar to win, she's got to find a way to negate the power of her opponent. Jaguar's got a bit more variety, so can she play the match a bit more on her terms? Can she get Rybakina out of her comfort zone? Can she slice and dice her a bit? I think if she does that, then she's got a really good chance. She will feel if she can bring that A game, if she can bang down those big serves, if she can dominate with her power, then there's not going to be a lot that Jaguar can do. So she just needs to keep doing what she's doing, keep that laser-like focus, and she'll think that should be enough. For Jaguar to win the title would be massive. I mean, bear in mind, she's the first Arab player, male or female, to even reach a Grand Slam semi-final. Now in the final, to win it would be so huge for her. She's always talked about that and how she likes that pressure almost. She likes that she's doing it not just for herself, but for so many people. And for her to win Wimbledon, it could be massive for the region. She would be the first player from Kazakhstan to win a Grand Slam. For the country's profile, for trying to get players to play for that country and to get players from that country into the sport, could have a massive impact.
Well, two very different journeys for two of the emerging single stars of the game. And will it be Ons or Elena lifting the Venus Rosewater dish?
Well, a very warm welcome to Wimbledon and looking forward to the ladies singles final on a very warm day for what should be a fascinating match between Elena Rybakina and Ons Jaguar. One of them going to take this title, take a Grand Slam singles title for the first time. Very impressive from Ons Jaguar, just over half an hour gone, one set taken in this final. What a turnaround in this final. Well, there she is, a new name, a new champion. Elena Rybakina. Again, the moments you dream of.
I love this tournament so much, and I feel really sad, but I mean, it's tennis. There is only one winner. I'm really happy that I'm trying to inspire, you know, many generations from my country. I hope they're listening.
Really, never felt something like this, and I just want to say big thanks to the crowd for the support. It was unbelievable all these 2 weeks.
Well, I'm delighted to say that I've managed to grab a word with Jenny Drummond, who's been working for the BBC this fortnight. Jenny, lovely to have you here.
Thank you.
Firstly, I want to speak about at the beginning of the fortnight, so way back last Monday
When was
now.
that?
I know, quite a while ago. We're now on day 13, guys. Yes, we're trying to keep up. Who did you have as your predictions to go into that ladies' final?
Well, I think you couldn't really bet against Iga Swiatek, the world number one. Her form coming into this tournament, she was the woman to beat, essentially. Anett Kontaveit as the second seed, I didn't necessarily see her going as deep, and obviously she went out in the second round. Ons Jabeur had to be one that you had your money on. She won Berlin coming into this. She was in great form. She loves this tournament. So I think those two in particular were definitely in my mind.
Did you think Elena Rybakina would go as far and lift the title like she did? It was only her debut, remember, here last year in 2021.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Her second appearance, to be able to face up to what she did here, semi-finals against Simona Halep, previous champion here, and then to beat the world number two. She has really played incredible tennis, and I think it's also about the size of her game that has done so well, particularly on grass. But it's not just that, it's the way that she managed the moments. That was pressure out there, and she essentially did better than the world number two in pressure.
Tell me about that final then. We now know the outcome. Elena Rybakina taking it in 3 sets. I mean, it was spectacular, wasn't it? Especially after going down in that first set to Ons Jabeur. We thought she had it under control, didn't we?
Ons came out all guns blazing. Ons actually has dropped the second set in her last 2 matches as well. But it just seemed that Ons then went off kilter. She didn't quite look her normal self in terms of confidence wise, and you could just see the energy draining out of her. It has been really hot today, but essentially Elena Rybakina just dealt with the conditions a lot better, and self-belief was there. To be a set down against the world number two in your first Grand Slam final and to come back the way that she did, I think is very admirable. And her shock as well at the end. She almost couldn't quite believe, she's 23 years old. She is so young. And to be able to be as composed as she was, I actually interviewed her before the final, and I said, who taught you to be calm? Is that one of your biggest strengths? And she said, yeah, other than my serve and my forehand, it is, because my opponent doesn't know what I'm thinking, and that's really important.
I was also talking to some fans, Jenny, after that matchup, and I said, who was everyone rooting for? And they said, actually, it was very much in Ons Jabeur's favour. So in terms of that as well, for Elena to overcome that and still go on to win, and I know you were out and about speaking to the fans, what was the vibe around Wimbledon in relation to that final?
Well, I'll tell you what, you couldn't get anywhere near Henman Hill because it was blocked from either side, and it has been, to be fair, for the last few days, which is great in one sense because we've got the crowds back here, it's so packed, the atmosphere is absolutely fantastic, and I have to say the crowd was in favour of Ons, and there were so many Tunisian fans around. But one Tunisian fan actually came up to me and he said, look, I just want you to know, either way, I know that Ons has lost, but she is the most respected, idolised person back in Tunisia, and she has changed so many girls' lives. And honestly, I got inside I got quite welled up because I just thought, they just love her so much, and I think they were hurting, they were feeling her pain as well, and you could see her reaction on the court too. She was gutted because she definitely didn't play to the level that she knows she could have, and to not be able to do that in your biggest match of your life is heart-wrenching for her. But either way, she still has the full backing of Tunisian people, that's for sure.
Well, thanks for your time then, Jenny.
Pleasure.
And it wasn't just Elena Rybakina being crowned ladies champion on centre court, there was champions being crowned all around the ground on day 13.
doubles champions.
What a way to do it. These guys have just put on their capes and become Superman.
Well, as we saw there then, Liv Hovda joins an illustrious list of names to have lifted the girls' singles title here at Wimbledon. And we managed to catch up with her after a straight sets victory over on court number 1.
My name is Liv Hovda. I'm 16 years old and I'm the Junior Wimbledon Girls Champion. It was super big. I mean, it was crazy how many people were there, but it was just a great experience. Playing on grass is unbelievable and it's just really beautiful surface and I just love it. I hope this is just another step towards an even bigger step that I hope to overcome eventually.
Well, there have been trophy lifts left, right and centre here today, but it's not all serious business here at SW19.
Definitely a day for Sun Cream.
She doesn't look too impressed though, does she? But she's doing the right thing, taking care of her.
Oh, we know we've now got another young ball boy playing, or girl. Oh, that's not a bad serve. That is not a bad serve.
Oh no, there's some real technique going on
There's
here.
a ringer. This is a ringer.
I think got full-on Junior Wimbledon potential right here. Oh yes!
Tom Cruise is here as well. There we are, Maverick himself.
I was going to say it's a nice souvenir, but he's got to give it back.
I mean, even if he did steal it, I would not go up to him and say, "Oi, you've stolen the ball," because he looks like he can take care of himself.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
No way. He hits him right on the head to finish with.
Well, I'm very pleased to say that I'm joined by Courtney Walsh. She's an Australian sports writer, and this championship you're working for Wimbledon.com. Courtney, thanks for joining us, and what a day we're going to be treated to tomorrow. And as an Australian, you must be very excited that one of your own, Nick Kyrgios, is taking on the formidable Novak Djokovic. I'm going to start though and just say, how difficult will it have been that Nick Kyrgios has not played since Wednesday?
He's always played his best tennis when fresh. We know that he's a guy who takes months off the tour and then comes back and can play spectacularly. It's a bit different though when he's in the middle of a tournament. In the past, that sort of tripped him up. He has a little liking for getting out and socialising at times. I think he's been very disciplined this time around, staying at home more than perhaps other years. It'll be fascinating, but I do think he's the type of guy who can come out and explode from the start. When he's fresh and feeling really fit and firing, I think that's a great sign.
Yeah, I mean, he has though, hasn't he? Spoken about how he was really prepared to play Rafa Nadal. That obviously didn't happen. And then he goes on to talk about that he's actually really nervous going up against Novak. Do you think this is just talk, or do you think he's actually telling the truth and telling us how he's feeling?
No, I do think we're getting what is his truth. I think we saw him after he won the quarterfinal to sit for a second against Garin, soak it all up and take it in. Was really interesting. Thursday night, when you know that you're into a final all of a sudden and in such unusual fashion. The last couple of nights, who knows, hopefully he's had a little more sleep, but I can't imagine any player sleeps that well the night before such an amazing match in their career.
Yeah, totally. Well, let's talk about his opponent then, Novak Djokovic. And the pair have only ever met twice before, and we know which way that went. Actually, Nick taking both those wins, back in 2017 on the hard surface. Can Djokovic look at that and go, right, time to get my own back when it really matters behind us on centre court?
Well, we know he's a guy who's now on a 27 match winning streak. at Wimbledon. I think he's won his last 37 or 38 on centre court, 6-time champion here. But Nick, as I said, when he's fresh and firing and when he has good records against guys, it tends to be hard to turn it around. Nadal did it. He won his first couple against Nadal and Nadal was able to turn it around. We know that Novak's a legend. I'm sure he's got some manner or some method to try and upset the rhythm of the Australian on his serve. But I think it's a 60-40 match. I do give Nick some legitimate claims in the final.
It'll be interesting to see, won't it? And it's obviously a year for the Aussies. It marks 20 years since Leighton Hewitt lifted that trophy on centre court as well. What would it mean if Nick could go on to lift that on this 20th anniversary?
Oh, look, and the interesting thing with Nick and Leighton, Leighton's the Davis Cup captain. At different times, he's acted as a disciplinarian towards Nick. You know, he was out of the Davis Cup team for a little while. But I really like the fact that they hit in Sydney just for an hour and a half, but just before Nick came across to sharpen up his grass court skills, tap into that expertise. Leighton has an unbelievable knowledge of Australian sporting history. He played so famously well here against Nalbandian 20 years ago. Ash Barty wins last year. They were childhood mates. They were in the same squads together, Nick and Ash. So it'd be, I think, a really nice moment for a guy, as I said, who is polarising at home, but we know that when he's at his best and on song, he can be a really generous guy. It'll be fascinating to see what happens on the court tomorrow.
It will be absolutely fascinating. Courtney, thank you for that insight on Nick and Novak as well, and I hope you enjoy that final.
It should be amazing.
It should be amazing. One for the neutrals as well, but guys, wherever you are watching it from, it's going to be a cracker. Nick Kyrgios taking on Novak Djokovic, looking for his 4th consecutive title here and his 7th overall. That's coming your way tomorrow. Men's finals on the 14th day here at the All England Club. We can't wait. We'll see you then. Good night.